Let's talk about it. Chivas USA taking a leave of absence from MLS. No surprise. Was it a surprise to you when you started digging into this story?
No, it wasn't. Certainly this is a story that has been going on for quite some time, and it was really the only question that was left was, would the league and the new owners, quite frankly, go through with the idea of basically putting the team out of its misery and shutting it down, and then starting anew, say in 2 or maybe even 3 years' time. So it wasn't a surprise. Certainly the troubles that the club has had are well documented. I had one source tell me a couple of weeks ago that there have been some games where there were less than 1,000 actual people in the stands at their games, and that's just a huge eyesore for the league. There's so many other positive stories for MLS going on, so much other positive momentum that's being generated, and Chivas USA, quite frankly, was a real drag on all of that. So, with New York and Orlando entering the league next year, it seems like an opportune time to really shut the team down and then in a couple of years' time try to make another run at it.
Jeff, I don't understand is other pro leagues admit when they make mistakes. The NHL with Atlanta, they are gone from there. A baseball with the Expos, they're gone from there, on and on. Why can't MLS just come to the understanding that they've made a mistake by having this team there? I mean, I look at Sacramento, I look at San Antonio, two prime locations that are filling the stadiums with both of their teams in different prospective leagues. Why are they not looking at one of those two areas?
Well, I think they are, but it's, for whatever reason, I think, in from MLS's perspective, the optics are very important. And I think, from their standpoint, it was really better for them to say, hey, we're putting this one club, basically having it go dark for a couple of years and then having a new group come in. It seemed like it was optically a cleaner transition. But I agree. I mean, it is a little puzzling that certainly Sacramento was not given more consideration. I talked to the owners in Sacramento, a couple of weeks ago, and they said they approached MLS about, taking over Chivas, and obviously they would move the team up to Sacramento and keep moving along with their stadium plan and the positive momentum that they've been able to generate this season. But MLS told them that they had plans for Chivas USA, and basically the new ownership group that was reported this morning by Sports Illustrated, that was the direction that MLS chose to go in. But it is a little peculiar. I mean, Sacramento feels like if MLS came to them tomorrow, they and said, hey, you're in the league for next season, but basically it's a question of just turning the key, that the staff is in place, they've got some decent players in place. Certainly they'd have to really work hard to kind of augment their roster a little bit, because teams like New York City FC and Orlando have a head start, but they're of the belief that they could keep going, and obviously they have a venue there that could work. They played some games at Hughes Stadium, which if I'm not mistaken holds 20,000 people, so that could be a nice stopgap until their actual stadium gets built. So it is a little puzzling.
To me, what's also puzzling is no major league sport has gone into Las Vegas yet. And here is a city that I'm sure would support an MLS franchise. They've got a very multicultural city, and I have no doubt in my mind that they would do well.
Yeah, I mean, the good news for Las Vegas is they survived a city council vote earlier this afternoon, and there was some concern that had the vote gone against them, then their stadium deal would have been dead. And now they've been basically given until December to try to get to a point where there's a minimal amount of public financing. That's really the sticking point there for Las Vegas. And then again, they've got until December to try to sort that out. So, I mean, that's another possibility. There are some advantages, though, to Chivas going dark. I mean, with New York City FC and Orlando joining the league next year, it's going to get back to 20 teams. You won't have these crazy bye weeks and, the scheduling difficulties that having an odd number of teams brings. But certainly, if they wanted to, basically move Chivas USA out of Los Angeles and then give that new ownership all the time that they want in terms of finding a stadium, in terms of rebranding and renaming the team, then I don't think there'd be as much pressure. So, certainly there's some compelling arguments for both sides, I think.